For those who saw the streams before, you probably already know what I'm going to do. Um, so this guy here, which is basically he's the dog version of him, or let's say like they're part of the same series, if you want to say. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna prepare the renders for this guy as well. I want them to look similar one from the other because I'm thinking that in the future I'm probably going to do another of those kinds of like anthropomorphic animals and stuff. Yeah, I like it. It's just cute little thing, and I don't know, it's fun. It's a relaxing project for me for sure. Changes from doing all those super complex apocalypse things. So, by the way, good day, mate from Australia. Good day, mate. I can't do the accent. I'm sorry. M. Rocha. Or Roca? Well, hello to you, Lorenzo. Exciting. I know. Roro. Hello, Marco. Hope you're doing well. First time catching you live. Well, it's my pleasure. Welcome to the stream. Frog. Megagato. He's here. Um, yeah, I was actually thinking in between like just calling him Megato or Megagato, but I think that the double gaga at the middle is actually like a funner. It sounds more fun to say. I find it's, and plus it looks like more the Megahuahua title that I gave the other. So yeah, Chicky, hello there. Well, hello to you too. So yeah, basically, not that I'm like unhappy with this result here, but like this kind of like highly painted over picture doesn't really uh, like give me the opportunity to have like the turntable and everything, and I find that um, like even like if this kind of like render here without the background and everything is and I got the sun in my face from both angles because like it's starting to be winter, right? And there's like sun coming in from the actual direction of the sun, and the sun is very low because it's winter. And on this in this direction, I actually have a window that like the sun is reflecting. So like just if you look at the webcam, like both direction, I receive light from here and here at the same time, and it's not a light setup. I mean, it would have been a pretty not an interesting light setup anyway to do if I did one. But just to say, like I receive light from both angle, and this is just like the one sun just like reflecting from windows and stuff. It's like pretty annoying, so I have to use like curtains and shit. Anyways, back on track. Um, I find that like a render like this, since I can do like many angles and it looks good, and I can do a turntable, I think it actually uses more the advantages of like a 3D model, right? Whereas like this one, it's like it's more of an illustration, right? It's one angle, and if I wanted to do another angle, it would be like that much more work to do. So yeah, there's like pros and cons for each for sure. But I really love to be able to use the full potential of the 3D model, hence this new type of presentation, let's say. So yeah, so we're just gonna start from that model and do like the same like process to finish the character again. Let's close this. Whoop. There we go, and let's start from scratch. So we're gonna be opening the ZBrush scene. That's gonna be our starter. I don't even remember which one is the ZBrush. Which one is the final file? And you'll see this. What's going to be interesting is that this model we're going to be working on is even more like of a sketch than the cat. Like I said when I was doing the cat, the idea behind doing the cat was to it was to do a character that like I'm not using all of the like the super tricky and advanced method and not being super diligent, but just more like aiming to go fast. And this is basically what I'm going to be doing again for like this character. But this character, when I modeled it like years ago, I really did it more into like a sketch. Like the quality is really under, not the quality as in like the sculpting quality. Well, I mean that there could be an argument about that, but I really mean just like the amount of polish. Like I didn't put like the same kind of like I didn't subdivide as much. I didn't do this and that. So there is kind of like a certain level of sketchiness to the character. I might actually give myself the chance to revisit that. Plus, I think I'm going to prepare the masks right now because I actually thought that like I had the masks on the model, but the model is actually completely gray. So there's going to be a bit of work to do in ZBrush actually. So for one, we're going to revisit the quality, and for two, we're going to at least give it the same amount of poly paint and mask preparation and whatnot. Man, it smells like gasoline right now in my house. They're still not done with the renovation. They're almost there, but not completely. And oh wait, it's starting to smell. Plus, it's starting to get really cold because there's still like a hole in my wall, and we're like, right now it's like pretty much like 0 degrees Celsius. In Montreal. So yeah, I got a hole in my wall in 0 degrees Celsius. Although the hole is in the basement, so there's kind of like a bit of a buffer. But let's say the floors are pretty freaking cold. Anyways, those are my woes. Okay, that's not going to be a lot of space, but I want to get as much space as I can from ZBrush. All right, it should be good. Should be good. Let's see what the chat is saying. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion for your... No, never mind. No, thank you. Wow. Que barbaridad. Barbaridad. Que barbaridad. Hey, you know what? I heard that... Okay, so I'm not sure what barbaridad means, but I actually saw that word or heard that word in the new Spider-Man movie. Because my son is listening to those movies so much. He loves Spider-Man, like the new Across the Universe or Into the Universe. No, Across the Universe. The dad says that about like Gwen, I think. What does "que barbaridad" mean? I could Google it, but might as well just ask. Holy shit balls! What a sculpt. Well, thank you, thank you. Hey Marco. Well, hello to you too. Eugene Pleska. Barbaridad is amazing? Okay. Alright. Oh, so it's kind of like funny that like the dad says that about his son, amazing, since like Amazing Spider-Man is actually one of the titles. They probably made it on purpose. Those writers for that movie are pretty smart. Okay, anyway, let's get serious. Okay, so I'm going to be using my tablet to draw, so I'm just going to change my setup a little bit. So the camera is going to go off the rails for a sec. There we go. Let's set ourselves up more like this here. There we go. It might be a bit too low. Just getting this comfortable. All right. Okay. So you don't speak English very well? Well, that's not a problem at all. Me neither. Well, barbaridad is something like brute, but in a good way. Well, isn't barbaridad more like... Is it like barbarian? Because that's kind of like a word that's similar-ish. Talking about Spider-Man, have you ever done one, a Spider-Man Marco version? No, but like when my kid is going to be old enough and he's not going to be in like breaking his toys mode, I'm thinking of like doing like a model and printing it for him. Like once the basement is done, I want to buy also like a new printer, like a bit of a bigger one, and I want to make like a cool like statue for him. But right now he's just like really too much into like he's not very careful with his toys and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, eventually I'll do one. I'm pretty sure. Hey, Ron, hey, Marco. Hey, Raul. Okay, Barbaro Barbarian. Okay, that makes sense. There's a lot of like since I'm like I actually speaking like French is my first language, right? And there's a lot of French word that just look a lot like Spanish. So there's like this that I can use also sometimes to guess the words. Well, I mean, I took out also like 4 years of Spanish in high school, but I can't say that I was a really good student, so I might not remember a lot of things. So the expression really means like, oh my god, in the way that it's used. Okay, that's good to know. Barbaridad. Que barbaridad. My dad speaks really well Spanish. He took classes and everything. I'll tell him that, see if he knows what it means. Oh, that's true. I didn't do the back of that character. Well, F me. I think I actually did. Well, I did the back because I have like the STL. So probably like the back version is like here. Let's hope. Okay, that's the version with the back. But I think this is a decimation though. Boy, yeah. Okay, let's see if I actually have a version of that file. Oh, that's the files. That's the render. Oh boy, did I really not keep? Oh wait, maybe this one. Nah, it's the same freaking thing. Print. ZBrushes. Oh, that might be it. Yeah, pre-cut. This Boolean, cut and key finals, sketch scale. Let's get pre-cut over here. Oh, I had it right there already. Let's try this. Barbarity. It is a Spanish expression. It is similar to, oh my god. Yeah, there you go. Perfecto. Henry 3D art, amazing. Hey. Alright, so there is no material on this, but whatever. So you see, there you go. At least this, okay. So this is the complete file with the back part. Did I also up-res the model a bit? If I did that, that would be super freaking sweet. No, I don't think I up-res the model though. Okay, well, this is... Oh, wait. This is another print. Okay, I did... Okay, what are those changes? Ah, okay, I just like made sure that there's nothing like that's kind of like interpenetrating. That's really just what this is. Plus like adding these like holes on the arm here. Okay, so I'll be using a mix of both. Okay, so there's gonna be a bit of prep to do before we start doing the texture. Yeah, I did like do like a complete back and everything though, at least. So even if the resolution's not completely there, there's some good stuff. I would change also the hand position. Okay. Okay. Did I keep these on layers, those holes? I did not. Okay, because that I'm going to need to get rid of because that's a detail that was really just there for the print and it does not look good in rendering. The rest is like, it's so sketchy, but you know what? It's like, I think it's going to be fine for the type of render I want to do at the end. Alright, I'm just a bit hesitant right now trying to analyze really what I'm going to do with all of that. Okay, so how do we get rid of all of this in the fastest way possible? For this arm, I can probably do just like a projection. If I grab this guy, all right. Well, that's going to be a bit of a, yeah, like I said, a bit of a cleanup job. But you know what? Let's go. Let's go for it. Let's try to use all of the fastest methods to get to my needs. So I'm going to do projection. First of all, store morph target. And I'm already going to target the poly paint that I did there. Well, it's cool that I actually have all of those poly groups. That's going to help me to make the poly paint after. So, good thing. Good thing. So, let's remove before projecting because otherwise it's going to be kind of like hard to do a projection. Oh yeah, and I kept the store morph target to recover the edges after, in case the edges don't reproject correctly. Let's have this be a kind of an obvious color. Projection shell and project all. Do not get the poly paint. Do you like Polyphia music by any chance, Marco? I have not listened to it enough. I think it's a kind of music that like I can possibly like, but I did not listen to it enough. I saw on Spotify that they have like a cameo with like Steve Vai, which I thought was pretty cool, but I didn't really take the time to listen to it, unfortunately. As far as I know, it's kind of like Animal as leaders, but more like less distortion, less metal-ish, as far as I heard so far. But I'll listen to it more. If you were going to organize that file again, would you leave? Would you leave organized? I sometimes get confused with my own files. Normally, I organize things pretty well, but this one was actually divided for print, so it's like a bit like organized in a weird way. Marco, I have a question. I've seen on Discord when you guys ask for a weapon artist, what do you mean? Weapons like assault rifle, pistols, and all stuff, or more like medieval weapons, sword, Albert? Well, I mean, it's whenever if you fit somewhat in the category, you just send your portfolio. I mean, it's fine because we can mean both, and sometimes it changes. So yeah. Okay, so the projection was done. I just like took a little bit of time to watch what people were saying, but like now let's get the morph target to get our cavities back and everything. I can do like also a bit before and after to see like what I need to get back. Oh, that was maybe a bit too much. It's, you know, something that I realize is like the older I grow, the more picky I am with like the quality of what I do and that sort of stuff, right? I had like an ease to do things really, really quickly when I was younger, and I feel like with time I'm kind of like losing that because I'm kind of like always trying to like make things as best as I can, right? And I don't super appreciate that. I would love to be able to easily get back into like the efficient way of working that I had before. Anyways, so that's done here. Yeah, this one is like offset, so let's see if I can like easily get it like back over, because this is going to be one where like I don't think I'm going to be fighting too much to get it back exactly where it is, where it should be. And there's a chance that I actually also moved it by hand and I will not be able to retrieve it, so, and I think we're heading for that. Yeah, we're definitely heading for that. It's like it's not going to be able to project one on top of the other, so I am going to have to fix it by hand. And to do that, I'm going to what if I use planar with a very tight alpha? Okay, so this is just like filling the holes, right? But doing the smoothing, just like a little quick pass of smoothing after is really going to fix everything. It's just going to be a bit tedious for the moment. If I would have kept my layer, that would have been better, but whatever. Like I've never really prepared for what I would do with that model after. So we kind of just have to do some patchwork a little bit. But you know what? It's kind of like I've always like this kind of patchwork, as tedious as it is. I've always seen it as um, like um, like an interesting study in like trying to figure out like the best like tools or like method to get something back, kind of like like a recovery of a model, right? Let's say like you get like a model corrupted and you just have like parts of it or whatever. And yeah, I've always found that like interesting. Because the moment and the reason why I'm not smoothing right away, it's because the if I smooth now, like the surface is gonna start to get like uneven. But I don't, and what I do is like I don't want to lose like the high points of this surface, so I'm bringing most of everything on like its highest point, and like it does like some like really like weird like artifact. It's not really artifact, but like it's just it's not clean right now, right? But at least all of the surface is on its highest point. So when I will be smoothing, it like the average of the ups and downs of like smoothing that mesh will bring everything up to like the highest um, level, highest surface. So there we go. So that's one, and then two. Let's actually let's take a pretty shiny material. I really want just to make sure that the surface is like as clean as possible within reason. Trying to make sure to not touch the edges, the cavities, but if I do, I have my morph target to get it back, so it's not an issue. Like here, I did it a bit too much, but I'll just get it back with the morph target. Here, because it's a Dynamesh, there's some like pinches in the mesh, but I don't care about that. I think I'm gonna call this episode the recycling episode. What's the motto again for recycling? Re, re recycle, reuse. What is it? Reuse, something, recycle. Yeah, I don't know. Reduce. There you go. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Which is this is one of the thing I'm really trying to do. It's hard to do always the right thing, and it's hard to save the world. When I say hard to, I mean it's pretty much impossible. But there's like small things I find like can be done in daily life, and I'm trying to. This is one of the things I'm trying to at least do as much as I can. It doesn't mean that like everything that I do is good. I mean, just doing 3D printing is a pretty consuming hobby, let's say. So yeah. All right. Okay, so we fixed that for the arms. Let me just save that ZTL file. All right. Sammy Frodo, hello, hello. Nice to see you. All right, well, it's okay. So for the fingers and everything, that I'm good with. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna fix a few things more than I thought that I would. Of course, anything that's kind of like at the back of the character, I'll spend even less time fixing and all. Just doing a few tests, see what's going to be the my best choice for this effect. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a lot of these sections won't be really seen by the camera, so we can go through them relatively quickly. All right. Just checking if there's a few, some cavities that like maybe I've smoothed out by accident. Because those I'm gonna want to have. I'm gonna want to keep them. This like cavity information is going to be helpful for like baking later and whatnot. So as much as a lot is unpolished, some these aspects I'm gonna want to make sure that they at least are. And this one here. All right, this one's already good. Okay, so that's good, that's good, that's good. Let's push this in. That's decent. That I can work with. That's the back, so it's not really that important. Maybe the cavity like here. Just really making sure that the synthetic muscle looks separated. Okay, I'm going to use lazy mouse. I'm trying to... There we go. Okay, that arm is possibly ready. So let's just I'm gonna give them like a white mat cap when it's done. This now. There's maybe like one thing I want to add or make a bit different. Actually, you know what? Yeah. It's gonna be pretty quick. No, never mind. Never mind that. Hey Marco, hope you're doing well. If it's okay, could you share some stories about your younger self, like what you were focusing most on early on and working on developing your unique art style? Would love to hear some of that. Okay, that's an interesting question actually. Let me just check the other maybe easier to answer questions. How many have you played Alan Wake 2? I did not. I did not. I did not play the first one either actually. Okay, so talking about my younger self. Like younger as in like when I was like like a kid and I was like drawing, or when I started my when I started to really like play around with the 3D art. I mean, I guess I could just like talk about like also when I was like a kid and just like go through real quick because there might be some interesting information in there. Just take a little sip of coffee. Then I'm done with that. Let's save this. I will absolutely subdivide this. Maybe rework a bit of the cavities. You see, like to smooth this alpha, we can just try like a smooth directional in the direction of the alpha. Oh, that's a bit aggressive. Maybe reduce the... Yeah, it just helps like a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time doing this, right? This is really just like a... like the equivalent of putting like makeup on the character. Just a little like, boop, zhuzh it up a bit. So, so yeah, I started to draw like when I was like a super young kid. Like as far as I remember, like my mom said at the age of like 3, I was already drawing. Um, maybe like even like at the age of 2, and like doing stuff that like people could recognize, like a box with wheels, and there was a car basically, you know. But like I think my point is just like that I like from very early on, like I loved like visual arts and stuff like that, right? Like drawing, that sort of stuff. But the thing is, like I never really like did it in any academic way until I really decided to start in 3D. Like even when I was like a teen, well, I mean when I was a teenager, I was getting better at drawing, but it was still not. I was still not like super serious about it. Still not learning really like methods. My parents actually like they gave me the opportunity to go to like some like drawing classes and everything, but like they were doing like perspective and stuff like that there. And as much as I respect that, it's like not what I wanted to do. In retrospective, I mean, I wish that I did those class though, even if it's not like exactly I like to do because I would have learned something sooner. But yeah, no, it's just to say it took me just a little bit more time to really focus and learn things the proper way, let's say, and like in a academic way. And so even as a teenager, yeah, I was having fun, but nothing super super serious. Then I got a job at the government, hated it. Realized that I needed to do something in arts, and this is where like I was like a older. I was older now. I was like more around like the age of like 21 when I decided to 21, 22 maybe, when I decided to really focus on art instead of like just having a 9 to 5 job. Which once again I say it all the time. Nothing wrong about having a 9 to 5 job. It's just like this one for me was not cutting it. It was not making me happy. And yeah, did need to make I did need to make a change, and that change was basically leaving the government and starting something in art instead. So I went around. I tried to get like a job in video games because I like playing video games. I still like playing video games. So I was like, okay, well, let's check around. What's around? Of course, in my where I come from, I come from a city called Hull, like the hull of a ship, which is basically in. It's called Gatineau now. It's pretty close to Ottawa. But the next best place to learn art was to find like a good school, and the good schools were all in like Montreal and stuff like that. So I knew that if I wanted to get into that industry, that I needed to move. So that was intimidating because like I never moved away from my city. But now I was a older kid, so like older kid. I don't know why I could still call myself a kid. I was like 22 years old. Um, like I was older. I had a car. I actually had a condo as well. Like the government job paid really well, but like even having like the condo, I was just like, no, I'm like was like that was not enough. Actually, to be honest, it kind of felt like I was at the finishing line of a race that I'd never really wanted to participate in, and that made me freak out a little bit. So I moved to Montreal and I sold the condo and everything. Eventually, I sold my car because in Montreal you don't really need a car. Plus, I needed the money. So yeah, I went to study into like a 3D school. It was a 3D school that was subsidized by Ubisoft because they wanted to hire like I guess like 1,000 artists within the span of 4 or 5 years. And it was the last year of that school. The name of the school was Campus Ubisoft. Um, Now there's like a spiritual successor. It's called Collège ADN in Montreal. And so yeah, it was kind of like a 1 year program. It was a 1 year program that focused on either animation or modeling, depending what you wanted to do. And modeling, to be honest, it was more focused on like environment modeling. But there was a teacher there that was that encouraged me to pursue character art, even if it was like one of the hard job to get. Right, like 0 to 1 student got like a job at the end coming from character art. Right, I mean, competition's pretty high and everything. But for me, I was like, oh man, no, I need to try. I need to try it and get that job because this is really what was jiving with me. And and yeah, I mean, so I'm trying to talk and while thinking. Just give me a sec. I just want to make sure I'm going for that. Let's fix those little things here. Yeah, it's such a quick, dirty job that I did for that character. It did work for the screenshot though. So to be honest, this is going to be the first project that my character is so rough before putting it into like a render that's more meant for like polished things. So I'm looking forward to see the results. Before I go back to the story about my journey, I just want to check. I just want to, well, first of all, save and then check the stream, the questions. What you had started working as a professional? Would love to hear about the childhood too. Okay, well, I am at the point where I'm at the professional part now. So, VX Leonardo, thanks for the sub. That's really cool. Oh, by the way, I missed a sub earlier as well. GXCX, thank you so much. I am sorry for not seeing it earlier. That's really appreciated. Why Chaos Masons and not Chaos Masons? Well, first of all, it's Masons with an S. Because it's just like chaos itself, the way that like it's portrayed, written in like this way has kind of like a negative connotation, but like for us, there's kind of like a positive connotation to chaos. Chaos can be good, so by writing it like in a different way, it gives it like a kind of like a different spirit, I'd say. So yeah, that's why that's why, or part of the reason why we chose to write it that way. I've been drawing since I was 8 years old, but the technical part of 3D doesn't really work. What would you advise? Going to school, I guess, because that's how I actually learned it. Well, let me get back on track with the story, um, and talk about like this aspect of it. Um, yeah, so I got into like the final year of the school program. It was like I said, it was a 1 year thing, and it was like meant to be closed the moment that like the fifth year is finished. Uh, I'm jumping ahead, but like really, what happened is I didn't get a job because they decided to lock down the hiring at the very end of my school program. I guess that they had enough people, or like something changed about the subsidies of Ubisoft. So like, because that's the whole thing, right? The more people that works for you, the more subsidies you have. That was part of like their like financial plan, I guess. But by the fourth year, they hired, I guess, enough people, and basically, I didn't get the job I was promised. Which, by the way, I mean, like I said, I'm jumping ahead. I'll go back to the school year, but like when I learned that I had it, that I got the job that they did not give me afterwards. When I learned that I got the job, I actually decided to move to a more expensive apartment that with a friend that I made at school, and I decided to spend the rest of my money going on a trip in France. He was going to see his family, and he was like, "Hey, you should come with me. Like your food and your like you'll have free food, a place to sleep, everything, and you'll visit." So I just had basically to pay my plane tickets. That was really a great time. I loved that trip, even if it put me in financial trouble after, because it's during the trip that I learned that I actually didn't have a job after all. And I did say no to like other people, right? Because since I said yes to Ubisoft when they promised me I had a job, and yeah, so just before I get back to like when I got into the before I got to get a job, basically at school, the program itself was like there was like some nice classes like anatomy classes and that sort of stuff, and I did started to study like anatomy pretty seriously before getting into the school, like when I knew I wanted to change, and when I was working on the portfolio to get into school, there was like a few things that I did study already. Like I said, mostly anatomy, since I knew I wanted to do like characters mostly, that sort of stuff. And but the school did provide some really interesting classes, but it was pretty much like all like overviews of everything. So if you really wanted to like really learn something, you needed to like work a lot after school, like because like I said, it was a 1 year program trying to teach everything about modeling or everything about like animation or everything about game design. So like it's not like you can't like learn so much in such a short amount of time if you just rely on the school. So when I got back from home, I was basically just like popping some like tutorials and trying to learn even more while doing my homework. So like kind of like getting like an addition to my to my curriculum in a sense. And oops, there's a mark here. Oh, it should be fine. So yeah, and also something I did at school is every time I had like a homework and I felt like I didn't really like understand like the homework, like my first character, for example, like how to poly model my first character. I basically like redid um, my homework when I thought it was like not like done well enough. Like I'll try to find. I think I already showed it online though, but let me try to find something real quick here. Yeah, so like there you go. See, that was my first ever 3D character. It was this thing. It was done like in Max with just like poly modeling and turbo smooth and stuff. And I really didn't get the idea of like edge loops and creating shapes and whatever. I just pulled things in any direction to get something. And after like the homework was done, basically like I just revisited the technique with one of my friends, and I redid that homework, and I did something that I was like much more like happy about. Like that's what I did afterwards. That was my second try, and also like by doing something that was kind of like that I had references. I had more like of a guide than like the other one doing it out of the blue, right? But I did understand the principles of like edge loops and stuff by doing that homework. I don't have really like better renders than that, but yeah, that was my first like 3D model and stuff. So, like I said, the classes themselves, they were not really focused on anything, but I knew I wanted to do like character art. So all of the tutorials that I was looking at after school, they were all like relating to character art. Uh, Even like at the end of the year, there was like a project, like a group project, where like I needed to create like a level. Like each student had to create a level with their level artist, and there was like some like side tasks of like doing the characters and whatnot. And basically the like I decided to do like the main character, but just like the suit and like the FPS hands, right? And people were expecting me to do like more since I wanted to do characters and stuff, but I didn't really like the style of the game also. So I wasn't really like a good like team player at that time because I really wanted to focus on my portfolio and the characters I wanted to put in. And to be frank, I mean, I don't think it was like a virtuous thing to do, but I still stand by my choice of focusing on like my portfolio. I mean, it did got me like a job after the when the school was finished. Okay, I know like they didn't end up giving me the job, like I said, but they did like saw the portfolio and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to hire you. So at least like those like choices, the time I spent like after class, like studying and redoing stuff and adding characters to my portfolio that was outside of like what the school was asking me to do, but at the same time doing the homeworks that the school was asking me to do. Like I did it all, and it was a super extreme one year. I got super sick at the end of that year also because I kind of like was in like overdrive for man. Well, I mean, it was a 1 year program that I did. I gave my 110 the entire time, but at the end I was giving my 120 or 30 for like a long time, and yeah, no, I got really sick at the end, and also especially because of the amount of coffee I was drinking, which is like not a good thing. So I actually had a caffeine withdrawal also, but yeah, I just like I pushed through, and it's not easy. It's really not easy to give your all like that for sure. Um, it's a bit easier when you really like when you really feel that it's what you have to do. So for me, it's kind of like it was there was like no way I was not gonna do it. So just like pushing through, it made it like easier to push through, right? Because I was just like this is it. Like this is what I'm gonna be doing. And yeah, I mean to get back more to like the professional side of things. So when I was done with school, actually, let me check the chat real quick before I start this next chapter. Let's save as well. Okay, so the chat, there's nothing added to the chat, so that's good. Let me just check here that there's nothing urgent. Okay, all right. So, coffee sip. Just making sure this is fine. The so yeah, for the professional part, like I said, when school was finished, I was uh, I was promised a job that I didn't get, and I learned that when I was in France on a trip, celebrating the end of like the end of school and everything. I think I stayed like in France for 3 weeks, and it's after like the second week that I learned the bad news. So I was like, oh fuck me. All right. So like I did spend the last I did the best to spend the last week and not be like a like grumpy or whatever, right? But I did kind of like started to work during the trip just to get like to augment my portfolio, right? Or at least have the feeling that I was like doing something to help my situation. And so yeah, I got back in Montreal after the trip, and I did two things. Number one, I started to exercise because I gained so much weight in 1 year at school because I was not really taking care of myself. Right, I was just focused on my job. And on one hand, I started to like exercise like a lot, like a lot, like in a way that like I would never do it again. I basically just like started to do like home CrossFit with like like a diet. It was basically something you could buy, and it was called P90X. I don't know if it's like something that exists anymore, but like, so I focused on that, trying to stay like physically healthy and mentally healthy as well, because I knew I was gonna have like a hard time ahead. And one thing that I know for a fact is you got to take care of yourself physically, so that the mental follows, and vice versa as well. It's like kind of like a chicken and or the egg situation. Or maybe I should say a chicken and the egg situation. Anyways, so I started to do that. Um, I tried to get like a few contacts to get some gigs, so they can pay me like any minimal amount of like dollars to pay for my rent. Um, my Yeah, my rent was actually like really not bad for like a place that was like, I mean, I had a super nice apartment. Like my friend who I said I made a friend at school, and he was my new roommate. Like he found like a really nice place for cheap, and we loved it. We would have stayed there for a long time. We actually got kicked out because the somebody bought the building and he decided to come and live in our area. And in Canada, that's like a reason why you can kick somebody out of his apartment, is if you want to yourself, the owner, live there, or have your immediate family live there. So basically, yeah, we lost the place. No, but anyway, that's not the point of the story, but it's just to say that I love the area, and I'm still in the area. Actually, I'm still living in this part of Montreal. Um, but yeah, I love the place. And when I decided to go there, I mean, like I said, I thought I had the job, so I was like, okay, we're all good. But one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I need to get a job as soon as possible, and also get like any kind of job, by the way. Um, like I was even considering like going back to do like another like whatever job that's not related to 3D or whatever. But I did search for some like freelancing work, um, some freelancing work in 3D art before everything else for sure. And I also sold my car. This is actually when I sold my car, just to get like enough rent money, and food and stuff. Plus, also like I mean the training that I was doing, the P90X, like I had to like eat so much chicken, and I mean chicken is like not the most expensive meat, but um, it's still like it was like a huge quantity. So, anyways, that was maybe not like the most like financial wise thing to do, but no, I mean I was really trying to push myself. So yeah, I did it. Anyways, um, so what I did at that time is I tried to get like any opportunity to be seen, right? And this is where I sorry for like the super long premise, but I think this is where like this might start to get like interesting for any aspiring artist that's listening right now. Um, and it's still something that I abide by. Wow, can we say that? It's still something that I do, that I take in consideration, is like you really have to be seen. You have to do like everything to get like exposure and stuff. And the reason for that is it's because like people like are not going to remember you, otherwise they're not going to think about like you. I mean, people have their own life, their own worries. They do their own thing, so you kind of like have to, if you want the most opportunities, you have to put yourself out there, right? You don't need to do that. Not everybody likes to do that. What I'm saying is there are advantages for doing it, and if you're looking for a job, uh, well, you need to work on your portfolio. You need to fill it as much as possible. You need to also fill it frequently. Like you can't just like spend like 1 month do like three things, put it in there, and wait. Like just because of like whatever algorithm on the internet, like when something is old, it just doesn't come up anymore, and that's pretty much something that happens like in all algorithms typically. So you do have to be like just somewhat always present, right? Even if you have a job and you want another job, you have to do this. It's basically the like for like artists, it's like the one thing that's gonna make you like stand out. Um, so yeah, I mean, when I was out of school, I was just like trying to find like any opportunity, like either to get like money or to do something that I could make a good portfolio. Well, and that wouldn't be working with a client because I knew I would have needed to wait kind of like a long time before showing my stuff. So I needed like a more immediate way to get like my stuff out there. So I worked on some personal stuff. And I don't remember what they were at the time, but there's one opportunity that came because I posted stuff online, because I was seen on forums. I was given the opportunity to work on the beta of ZBrush 3.1, which is the ZBrush that we had like 12 years ago, actually. And did I subdivide that mesh already? I did I? Let me just check something. Oh, I did not. Okay, that's gonna help to smooth things a bit. So so yeah, that was like the ZBrush beta from like so long ago, and I really took the opportunity to give my all on this beta. Like nowadays, I still participate in the beta, but I have much less time that I had like before, right? Like when I get like betas and stuff, I just basically like check the tool, check how it can help me, suggest like a few things. If there's a test that I can do and it looks good, I give it to Pixelogic, right? Um, but at that time, when I was on the beta, at that time, I mean, I was like really motivated. I did like two or three characters for them using like the tools and everything. And after I did that, well, after the beta was done, uh, Pixelogic, so the makers of ZBrush, at the time they decided to come to Montreal, come to the MIGS, which is the Montreal International Gaming Summit, which is a conference that happens in Montreal like every year, I think. And basically, yeah, they invited me to show some stuff that I did during the beta and do some like some clinics and workshops there. Not workshops, but presentations, mostly like demos, I should say. And that opportunity led me to my first job because it is during this event that I met somebody that became my first boss. So David Giraud is the person that gave me my first job. He was working at THQ as a lead or art director. I think it was lead, like a high level like lead or something like that. I don't remember the name of the title, but basically like he could hire people or help to hire people, and he basically said like, hey man, you should like send your portfolio to THQ because we're hiring right now, and yeah, send your portfolio, which I did, and I think like the moment I did the interview, I think a few days passed, and then I got a nice email saying like, "We want to hire you." I was so freaking happy, you know, to join the team and everything. First of all, I mean, David is a pretty cool guy. and I was happy to work with somebody like that, very talented as well. So so yeah, 2 weeks later, I got my first job. I was really, really, really happy. Felt like so basically after I finished school to get my first job, it took me it took me 6 months. So like for the first, well, I guess for the first 3 weeks I was in France. Then I came back, worked on my portfolio. Um, I think I actually like did like one or two freelance job that helped me to pay maybe 1 or 2 months of rent, the car, selling my car. Um, Selling my car gave me like another maybe a month. Sorry, another 2 3 months. And so when I when I got the job, like my first paycheck went into like paying like rent right away because I don't think I was like past due, but it's like I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything left. Like I would have needed to go and ask like my parents to lend me money. Actually, I think they did help me to pay like a month. So I repaid my parents when I got the job, and yeah. Oh yeah, no, they did. They did help me. Yeah, I remember because they sold their car because they had a car they were not using anymore. They sold their car, and they took that money to help me, which I paid them back afterwards. And yeah, so that was like me like getting my first job basically. So I don't know if you, is that what you wanted to know? I don't know if there's like any questions, or I don't know if like people want to hear like the rest. Like I don't mind. I mean, I still have about 40 minutes of streaming, so I don't mind. I don't mind running my yap a little more. So as long as people are not bored by this, would love to hear more. All right, that's cool. I can certainly do that. All right, starting to get a bit frisky now. Jeez, a bit chilly. My thermostat is saying it's 23 degrees in my house right now, and I think it's lying because it's absolutely not 23. It might be 23 at the height of the thermostat, but not near the legs, though. How good are you at likeness sculpting? Um, I'm decent. I I know how to get there, but I'm not one of those like crazy fast artists that have mastered the likeness sculpting. And the reason why I'm not as good as like people like this is really because I don't really have like the same interest. So I didn't really put the time needed to really learn how to do it well and fast and everything. It's something that I did for like a couple of like gigs that I had back in the day. And I'm happy that I also like learned to do it enough because like now when I do like my characters for like for my elementalists and everything, like I'm happy of the result that I can get for like face sculpting, anatomy, and that sort of stuff, right? But it's not something that like I really like to do. Like me, I'm more like interested about like like designing and full body character and like there's no real focus on the head, right? For me, as long as I get like the expression right and there's like a certain like cleanliness to my work, normally I'm happy with that. And a likeness is a real ordeal to get because it's like it's fairly it's fairly easy to get to 80%. But like when you do a likeness, it's kind of like the requirement is to hit like as close to 100% as you can, right? And this is very, very freaking hard. And in my opinion, and this is really just my opinion, so super subjective, but in my opinion, it's like it gets pretty boring at the point where like you have to get from like 80% to 100%, right? And and yeah, I never really got interested to pursue more than that. But I like people that like know how to do it. I'm really in awe with like how much some people are good at getting the likenesses and everything. I mean, it's a skill by itself, and it has to be recognized as a skill. So even if it's not something that I like to do or that I aspire to get good at, I still think that it's a recognizable talent. I'm really gonna have to start playing around with character creators soon because I just want to see like what the fuzz is about. Like I've seen some stuff, and there's some stuff I find really cool, really fun. So I want to get my hands on it and test a little bit. It goes Christmas future. Yeah. Nice collage of emojis right there. For people who don't know, the dog in the emoji is actually my dog. Right now, he's hiding upstairs because the construction noise is bothering him. You did flip my dog, sir. I saw the flipping actually. I thought of saying, "Please, sir, don't flip my dog." But I was like, you know what? It must have been a. It must not have been an easy thing to do. So kudos to you. I will just say, be careful with the dog flipping. I only accept respectful dog flipping. All right, I think that's gonna be enough polish for the arms. So that's good. It means we're done with the arms, both of them. Oh wait. All right, so that's done. That's done. Bing, 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 bing. Done, 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 done. It's going to be the legs, the ears, and the rest of the body. Let's. I don't think the ears there's like anything to do. So yeah, there's nothing to do. So let's just call it done right now. The legs, I'm wondering if I can just like do one and place it over the. I think I'm going to do that actually. The arm, it would have been like a bit hard to do that, but I think I can absolutely do it for the leg. So let's take this leg. I'm gonna polish this leg only and duplicate it. Maybe I should poly paint it also before. Yeah, I think I will do that. Lorenzo, cute. Yes, it is. Hey, Marco, did you post somewhere the final result of the cat project? No, next week I will, though. RenderMat 2 is available somewhere. I did provide it on our Discord, actually. But it's just a basic gray, like, that you have, like, here. Where is it? Yeah, it's just, like, the basic material, but I just, like, made the specular a bit tighter and higher. It's really just like that. Nothing more. Okay, what time is it? An hour and 20 minutes. Okay. Okay, I can do a bit of the leg. Okay, so I'll need to subdivide. Will I subdivide everything? Yes, I will, because that is some low resolution stuff right there. Damn. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see the, like, the result, because, like, this is some unpolished mesh right there. Wow. I just, like, I'm really hacking at, like, making it look like more high res. I almost feel like I could get, like, arrested by the 3D police right now. If you start to see red and blue lights in my webcam, you'll know it's the 3D police coming after me. Send me Frodo. That dong. Yeah, he's a big doofus, my dog. He's such a baby. He's like 7 years old. I swear to God, he's acting like he's like 3 months. But you know what? I like it. I think a dog should be allowed to stay a baby for his entire life. Also, it makes him such a nice dog, like with people and everything. What's your preferred software to render your character? Well, it's the one that I used last stream, Arnold. It's my it's pretty much my favorite one right now. There's still, like, pros and cons in between him and the other software, but, like, the software that I typically use is Arnold, Keyshot, and just the ZBrush renderer, like the standard, like, classic BPR. Like, this image on the left was done with Keyshot. I think I could have done, like, almost the exact same, like, render with the ZBrush passes, though. Maybe, but yeah, I've tried a lot of them. Like, when I do, like, super quick sculpts, like this guy was, um, like, using, like, just the ZBrush render pass and just, like, doing some post production in the Keyshot is, in my opinion, enough. Um, but now that I wanted to, like, because I did the cat, and I did it in a bit better quality and rendered it in Arnold, I told myself I was going to re-render this guy as well, the Megahuahua. But this requires him to be just a little bit cleaner, and have a little bit cleaner mesh. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just making sure he's, like, somewhat more presentable. like I will never like zoom as much as this. So it's normal that like if I zoom like this, I won't get like the amount of like polish that it requires to be viewed this close. But I'm really just zooming close like that because I just want to. This is just for like the precision of things, right? Like when I'm zooming out, those like slight changes are just going to make it look like polished or defined or refined enough to be baked and have texture over it. Like a lot is going to be hidden from the texture. But yeah, it's it's kind of like a cool experiment in a sense though to see like how low can you go, like how unpolished can you go, um, and see if like that like the texturing technique is going to do the trick. And why I say it's an interesting technique, it's because well the like I said, I have the reflex of always like spending time like polishing and stuff. So seeing how much I really need to get like a decent result is also interesting. With the cat, I went a bit more polished than I thought that I was going to. But with this model, it's like, okay, well, that's the real test of like of having like a low resolution model. And by low resolution, I don't mean like a retopo. I mean like just actually having a ZBrush model that is of a low resolution and low quality, um, low polish, let's say, low polish sculpting. So making the cavities a bit sharper. When I see stuff like this where it's like all jagged, I just use my smooth directional. If there's like a shape that's really too much like skewed, I'll like move it around. So far, but like you see for the leg here, it's not like something that we'll focus on at all. So I also have to know what to focus on and not focus on in terms of like not wasting time. Don't ever put your VR set on. Don't ever put your VR set on. What do you mean by that? Oh, okay, sorry, I missed another one of your texts. 3 police would be virtual as well. Okay, yeah, I'm considering buying the Quest 3. Like I'm working on a huge project right now, trying to deliver it, and once it's going to be delivered, um, I'm thinking of like um, retrying myself at doing like 3D sculpting, or just really just like having like a more like modern VR console, because like I do have a VR, but like I bought like the first generation Oculus, so I would really like to try my hands at like having like the Quest 3 probably. I had like a lot of fun with the Oculus Rift, with like the games and everything. Like I played like the Half-Life game was like super fun. Robo Recall, of course, was super fun. Tried a few others as well, and they were like not bad at all. Some gave me like a lot of motion sickness, like Subnautica. or Nautica or something like that. Anyways, that one was like impossible for me to play though. Like I just like wanted to barf the entire time. But some of them that like you were moving around, like I was able to handle a bit. Like I think it's called Pavlov. I tried this one, and this one was pretty fun. And like I was a bit on the fence, but it was just enough so that like I felt comfortable enough, and it was fun. It was a cool game. And of course, like Beat Saber, those kind of games, those were super cool. Really love them. I actually had a lot of like parties where like people were like using beat laser their turn after one turn after the other. Thoughts about Apple Vision Pro? Didn't buy it. So I didn't see it either. So no opinions. I generally don't like Apple because I don't like the kind of like proprietary stuff and lack of versatility, though. But yeah. So yeah, the just to go back to like the school stuff I was like talking about. Um, Man, it smells like gasoline. Jesus. Um, yeah. So the when I got my first job, let's get to like where it led me to start Chaos Masons. Um, the basically my first job at THQ was pretty cool. The people were really nice. The projects were cool actually. Also, we were working on Patrice Desire's next game basically. So like the creator of Assassin's Creed was for a short time at THQ. Well, I mean like THQ closed. I mean, or at least THQ, our studio of THQ closed. So like it's not all like nice and everything, but for a time like it was pretty cool working on that game and learning new skills. The people I worked with were really nice. Actually, Cedric joined the team not like too long after me. Um, him and David they knew each other, so like David called Cedric back now. They worked together on like at Ubisoft, I think, and yeah, at Ubisoft. So basically, the yeah, my time at THQ, it was. I don't think it lasted super long because like maybe like a year or two, and then they like announced that the company like might be closing and everything, and like a couple of people like at that point they started to look for like other like opportunities and that sort of stuff. And while I was on a trip, um, there is and by the way, I don't go on trips all the time. It's just like a coincidence. I talked about a trip earlier. I'm not talking about another trip now. But I was on a trip and I just received like a Facebook message of somebody that I knew, like I knew him as an artist, and he was just like, "Hey, do you want to come and work at BioWare on the new Mass Effect?" I was like, "Yes, please, that would be great." Knowing that THQ was not doing super well for me was just like perfect timing, right? So so yeah, I decided to quit and go work at BioWare. That was my second job actually. Yeah, BioWare was my second job, and it was really fun. Also, a lot of cool people there as well. I was working. Rodrigue Pralier was the person that hired me, and yep, that was also some good time there. I didn't actually stay there for a long time, and this is like no fault of like anyone or the project because like yeah, whatever. I know like people have their opinion about Mass Effect Andromeda, but for the time that I was there, it was it was super fun, and it felt like really inspiring what we where we were heading with the game and everything. So I really loved it, and I was learning new techniques, honing my skills. So yeah, no, I was really happy. And but while I was at ADOS, Cedric find like a new job at sorry, when I was at BioWare working on Mass Effect, Cedric found himself like a new job at ADOS on like a super secret project. It was never it was never revealed. It was such a cool like art direction as well. And each time I talk to somebody that worked on that project, we always talk about it like in a melancholy and nostalgic way. Yeah, it was really great. We really felt we were going to create something new, but Square Enix was not really like feeling it because of the risk level of the project. So we got canned, unfortunately. That being said, the art direction of the project can partially be found in the new Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out like a few months ago. Um, like when I look at it, I kind of like I feel like it's like its spiritual successor. So it was not like a Guardian of the Galaxy game. Like we were creating our own IP, but in terms of like a lot of like visual choices and stuff, I'm like I really see um, our like secret project in there, which was it was fun. It was really fun to see that like in a way the project lived on. so so yeah, that's how I actually got to like I got to ADOS. I got to work at ADOS on this like new project that Cedric was on, and he asked me over and over and over and over and over again to come and reach the project. And every time I was like, ah, oh, man, that's like it looks like it didn't show me anything, right? NDAs and stuff. But like he basically like just like gave me like a sense of like how cool like things were and everything. And like I think on the fifth time he was just like convincing enough, and I was like, okay, man, you know what? Like it's not an easy thing to do because I'm actually really happy at BioWare, and I like I'm a very loyal person, so I like for me it's like I would rather just stay somewhere that I'm happy and be loyal and stick to it. Um, but after like talking to Cedric, like I kind of like felt that like he was right that this is like an opportunity that like will never be like that might not be available in the future. And you know what the worst is? It's like he's like almost that was almost correct. Like I mean, other opportunities showed up, but by then, like we had Chaos Masons that was running, so we could participate to projects like this as like an outsourcing company. You know? But like a people working in a project, trying to work on like a cool project and grow as an artist, man, that was such a cool thing. So so yeah, the once I joined the project, I think like this new project at ADOS, I think it lasted like 3 months or 4 months, and then it got canceled. So like once again, working on like a project that gets like canceled, or in a company that like that it gets canceled. So I was like, oh boy, like I felt it was almost like karmic retribution because I left the other place. And in my head, I was like, yeah, there's no way they're gonna take me back there. Although like I still have my friends there and everything. But I even asked like people there, and I was like, "Hey, do you think they're gonna hire me again if I send my portfolio?" And he was like, "No, you left like way too early, and people are not happy. So like you can try, but to be honest, I doubt it." And I didn't even try. I stayed at ADOS. They put me on Deus Ex, which this is where. Yeah, actually, I didn't say that, but like it's when I moved on Deus Ex that like I started to do like much more like hard surface and sci-fi things, because before that I was doing mostly like organic stuff, and and yeah, it's really at ADOS that I started to learn all of the technique that I know about hard surface and whatnot. Like for those who know my portfolio, actually, let me just get like some visual aid. So this is my website. Like I said the last stream, I'm working on having a more beautiful website than that, because this one is getting pretty freaking old. Um, okay, where is it? Okay, there we go. So the wasp, this character here. So this character, like the render is a new render, but the character itself is something that I did after a bit of time at at um, at ADOS, because I mean I did learn like the technique and the approach when I was working with Cedric at THQ, but practicing the technique and doing it over and over again, this is something that like I was asked to do on Deus Ex, because there was like a lot of like equipment. I did a lot of augmented arms and that sort of stuff, right? So this was like my opportunity to really like learn the technique and everything. And I think it's like really at that point that I realized that I had like like a certain ease with hard surface. Like I've never considered myself like better at hard surface than with organic things, but I think that, and this is really like a guess, could be wrong, but like I think that hard surface is kind of like a hard thing to grasp, and like I was able to kind of like understand it and put my own twist on it and get there, right? But yeah, I've always loved organic things, hard surface things and stuff, and I've always spent like the same amount of like time and everything, and I think it's more rare to be good at hard surface. I think this is like, don't quote me on this one, right? This is the part where I'm really not sure, but still, it would be my opinion slash guess. It's that like people recognize me for hard surface because it's like a hard thing to do in general, but I don't consider myself to be like that much like better at hard surface versus like organic or whatever. Really, just a guess, because I can only talk like through my lens, right? And through my lens, I'm as interested by both. I put as much time on both. I'm inspired by both the same. All right, we're almost done with the with doing our little quick refining of the leg. So next stream we'll just need to do the polishing the upper part, upper torso a little bit more. And we'll finish by putting the poly paint, and we'll be ready to start the process of our decimation in order to get to the rendering and everything. Oops, kind of like a weird angle here. I just noticed. Okay, can I consider this leg now polished enough? We're gonna go with yes, and we're gonna see what it gives us. Okay, let's duplicate this leg, put it on the other side, and that'll be the oh, it does not let me subdivide it. Okay, whatever, man. Let's just try to get the leg. And I remember doing it like really quickly, and actually let's do it. Let's do it like I did last time. I think I just like moved it like this. Yeah, which is kind of like skewing a few things. We can see maybe if I can unskew a little bit. Like sometimes like the circle will look a bit skewed if I use that technique. They are not that bad. Small ones don't look skewed. The one at the bottom here a little bit. Let's just move them so they kind of like get their shape back. Like I say often, every time you move an object, you transpose an object like this, and things are trying to stretch. Really, the real offenders will be any like primitive shapes, like squares and circles. And if you fix those, sometimes like the eye won't really see like the other parts that might be skewed and whatnot. Okay, let's fix it like this for the moment. Oh, it's a bit high. There we go. Just hacking it a little bit. Okay. That's gonna be good enough for the moment. All right, next stream we're gonna tackle the torso here. I'm just curious. Let's okay, so we have a bit of the before and after of everything that I did. Well, that's before, after. Yeah. So you see, it's like from afar, we don't see much of what was like polished and stuff. From mid-level is going to show like a little bit more. But all in all, it means that like what I'm trying to accomplish in terms of like how far from the camera I want the renders to be and everything, like will be good in terms of like the quality or the amount of resolution, let's say. So I think that's going to be all right. There's still some stuff I want to fix around like the chest area here and the muscles. Like this is like an area that's very frontal, but like I kind of like neglected it. Um, I think the head was like kind of like already done with enough like polish, but we'll revisit. But yeah, that'll be it. Let me save again. Let's check the chat. How do you decide which object to make separate mesh, which one to sculpt from the same mesh? This is a question that's hard to answer because I tried both techniques. I tried to do as I sometimes I try to do as much as I can on one mesh. Sometimes I try to do in separate mesh, and I kind of like found the answer by just like testing both, and it's very depending on the context and what I'm trying to accomplish. So the knowledge and my decision really come from like knowing ahead of time what I'm trying to accomplish, the amount of time I try to spend on it, knowing that like separating meshes takes more time but is more polished. Well, this is something to take into consideration. Do you want to go faster? Do you want to do something more beautiful? And this decision can actually be different on any part of the character as well. So yeah, it's really based on like experience, I'd say. Um, Thank you for sharing your story, Marco. It was great hearing that. Also, I believe you're amazing at both hard surface organic and many others too. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's going to be the end of the stream. We're like almost like 2 hours flush. So thanks for joining. This is going to be the new thing I'm going to do for the next weeks. I think this is going to go like pretty fast. So soon enough, I'm going to have to figure out like my next project to start after. Exciting stuff. That's always good. So thanks for joining in on this like new adventure and everything. And Mo just joined in. Sorry, Mo. Next week, man. This is a no Mo club. Once he comes online, we all leave. That's not true. That will never be true. Um, so yeah, thanks everyone for joining in, and I will see you next week. So take care, everyone. Oh yeah, and let's do a little raid. Yeah, always a good thing. Sharing the love. Let's go share the love. All right. Well, this is it. Have a good week, everyone. Take care.